Do you know what? This is a wicked car, man. Great car for the channel. Great video this is. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you watch all of this because this car is a Porsche 911 997 Carrera 4S. This is a cheap car. Like, it's probably definitely the cheapest one currently available in the country. So that's amazing. Good for content, and it's got massive spec as well. Look how good that car is. For a 55 plate car, that looks bloody incredible, doesn't it? So we're going to do the usual stuff in this video. We're going to go for a little wander around it, talk about a little bit, should we talk about the history of Porsche? We'll just see how it all unfolds. We will then do HPI check, go through spec, because I want to talk to you about the massive spec list on this car, and then we're going to go for a drive and do draggy time, see how quickly this car does 20 to 70 miles an hour. So here we go then, a 2005 55 911 997 Carrera 4S. They're a 3.8 naturally aspirated. We've got something bleeping in the background. We've always got some kind of distractions. Whilst we're on the subject of distractions, actually, let's talk about that E46 M3 that's just arrived. Proper cool car that is. It just arrived as part exchange, and when the guy pulled up in it, I went over to start it, yeah, and it didn't start. Battery literally died as he arrived apparently. But yeah, nice car. 19-inch diamond cut wheels, manual gearbox. I probably won't get it on my channel other than right now because we've done loads of M3 content, but similar era cars, didn't they? Look at that car, that looks amazing, don't get me wrong, but I do think this looks incredible. So yeah, this is the 4S. Basically the S's had a slightly bigger engine. The non-S cars are a 3.6 flat 6 naturally aspirated engine. These are a 3.8 flat 6 naturally aspirated engine. These have also got about 30 more horsepower, a little bit more power. And then the number 4 on the badging is basically the fact that it's a 4-wheel drive car, right? The 4S's actually have a little bit more over the usual cars as well, the non-S's. They've got different wheel options, wider wheels in fact. Apparently the body's wider as well, by about close to a couple of inches overall. Different brakes, different suspension, and I think a sports exhaust, and even xenon headlights as well apparently. So some pretty cool stuff available on the 4S's. This car colour combo is a bit personal, but do you know what, I think it is so classy. Grey bodywork, I love grey as a paint colour option. It's very, very similar to the grey that's on my E46 M3 Touring. If you've not seen that car, go and check out the videos. I've just had the red leather seats installed. I was going to try and open the door then, but the car is locked. So yeah, grey red leather. This car here, hashtag key check by the way. Someone's having fun on the dual carriageway there today. Yeah, quick hashtag key check. It's got Porsche key ring, which is pretty good, and your usual Porsche keys with a button on the front, button in the middle there for the front, and a button for the rear as well. We'll talk about them shortly. So yeah, the interior is like a chocolate leather interior, grey body, chocolate leather interior. I personally think it looks so bloody classy, bar that. Like the valets have just given it a quick clean. That needs to go, doesn't it? That old parrot kit thing. I think they probably thought, you know what, it might still work. I don't think that still works. But yeah, chocolate interior, and like I say, we will go through the specs short. Look at this, man. Look at that bit of carbon. I looked at that and thought, surely that ain't factory, but that is definitely factory. That is cool, man. So this car weighs about just shy of 1,500 kilos from factory. So it ain't a massively heavy car. Build quality of Porsches are unbelievable. I talk highly of them all the time. The massive 305 rear tyres, look at them, look at them. They actually come with the lobster claw wheels from standard. These wheels here in particular were an optional extra. Like I say, we will go through the option list shortly. The shape of them wing mirrors, man. Let's just quickly talk about them whilst we're stood here. Look at the shape of them mirrors. Pretty much, I suppose they sort of match the design of the lobster claw wheels that this car would have come with from standard. I like the LED front lights as well in the bumper there. It makes the whole front end of the car look super modern, man. I am struggling to get over the fact that this car is an 05 plate car. So they actually brought out the 997 in 2004, made it right up until 2009 when they facelifted it. They've done an incredible job of the facelifts. As per every Porsche on the planet, they just hold their money so well. Apart from, do you know what, I say that, these cars, they are a lot of money, yeah? For an 05 plate car, we'll talk about value shortly, they're a lot of money. In fact, we'll talk about them right now. They start at about £20,000. So you can pick one of these up for £20,000. And on the road, this car looks incredible for £20,000. But there is a lot of uncertainty about these cars because they do have some pretty major engine issues, all right? So people, like, you know, that's scary, man. That is scary stuff. They have bore scoring, and that means the engine's got to come out and all that sort of terrible stuff, which we love on this channel. Scary, big problems, we love, yeah? Big head in hands, thumbnails, we love all that. But this car in particular, despite it being a super cheap car, it's done about 89,000 miles as well, by the way. It's actually got no issues. I don't think it has anyway. We'll drive it shortly. I did drive it into work this morning. I picked it up last night from a customer. It actually came from another car trader. And yeah, so let's just hop in on the inside. Much to talk about in here. There's a lot to talk about. Look at that. Look at the character that this car's got. Even it just feels so solid. Pretty sure that sports steering wheel comes part of the sports Chrono pack, which includes the little timer clock on the dash there, which is a great feature. The square dash, the shapes in there are just so cool. The way it just feels so solid. Manual gearbox car as well, by the way. I'm pretty sure the automatic or the PDK gearbox didn't come out until later on in time, maybe about 09 in the facelift car. So it's quite cool that these were only available as a manual gearbox option. Let's just hop back out. Should we do that now? Or should we start the engine? Let's not start the engine just yet. Let's pop this one here because you're probably going to be curious to see the luggage space under the bonnet, because obviously the engine's in the rear, which we will talk about shortly. The reason why we're going to talk about that shortly is because the history of this car is incredible, man. The 911 is a massively loved car. There you go. Camera bag, tray plate, gym bag, gym trainers, bit of space in there, pretty cool. Got the Porsche logo up the top there as well, so a bit of space in the front. And then talking about the history, they've sort of retained, I say it all the time, that classical Porsche look. I suppose the design had to remain very similar for the simple fact that the engine is in the boot, you know, it's at the back end of the car. There is a little parcel shelf there, so you could put a few bits and bobs on the back there. By the way, it does have rear seats, which, you know, they're rear seats, I suppose. They pass as a 2+2. You wouldn't want to sit in the back, but it's do you know what? The design work that's gone into the rear of that car. As much as I wouldn't want to sit in there, you've got to rate them for the design work. So yeah, it looks pretty good. The back end of them seats as well, they look nice, don't they? I really like the back of them seats. Again, screens quality, nice thin seats with the Porsche emblem in the headrest there as well. Silver trim through the centre, and what I was going to say is the engine. So this button here, that pops the sort of the engine boot lid. Look at that 4S on the rear, and as we stand back, got 4 exhausts, big chunky rear end. Look how fat that rear end is. Such a cool looking car, man. Yeah, so the engine bay, it's just wicked that the engine just fits. It just looks tiny and cramped, and I don't know how they do it, or I've got no idea what the real reason behind them needing to retain keeping the engine in the back, but they've done it and it's incredible. On top of the engine there, you can just about see a little Porsche logo, and they've got a 3.8 badge there with a Porsche badge as well. And what's interesting is this design here, which is a beautiful design, by the way. These vents, they obviously drive air into the engine through this little vent here, down into the airbox, and yeah, straight into the engine. So it's constantly got cold air fed through it. It's even got this little fan as well to drive in cold air into the engine. So yeah, that all looks really good. And as we wander out, how have I not mentioned the sunroof yet? Let's start the engine and get the sunroof open, shall we? So at this point in the video, guys, we're going to hear this wonderful car start. Here we go. Back out with the keys, 89,000 miles. Is there anything else to talk about? The quality of the carpets, I think that's worth talking about. The quality of the door cards. Let me know what you think of the classy brown leather interior through a camera. Is it looking a bit, are you a bit unsure about it? Brown steering wheel, brown door cards, brown everywhere. Is that a bit, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Personally, I think it's classy. Something I've not yet mentioned. How have I not mentioned this? Let's start the engine first. Have a listen to this. Flat 6 engines, they do sound super unique. If you are about to buy a Porsche, you do want to bring someone along that has good knowledge on Porsches, because sometimes you look at them and you think, or you listen to them and you think, hold on, is this wrong? Is there something wrong here? They do sound a bit funny, but let's give it a little rev. But personally, I think they sound wonderful. Like, look at that. The usual clocks layout on a Porsche is rev counter in the middle, and speedo on the outside there. So yeah, really cool layout. Love the sound of them, love the look of them. And what I was meant to say earlier, which when I got sidetracked, is the use of materials here. We've got, is that leather? That is actually leather, brown leather, and Alcantara on the roof lining from factory. I don't think I've ever had one with a sunroof. I had a lot of Porsche 911 997s as well in my time. Never, I don't think I've ever had one with a sunroof, so that's pretty cool. I think what I need to do now, guys, is throw the camera up in the window, quickly go through specs. I've done a lot of talking about the interior, the exterior, and what this car offers. Quickly go through specs, and then we'll hit the road, all right? Hold on, I just realised this car's got heated seats, a sunroof, and it's got rear parking sensors. You know what that means, don't you? Hashtag Calv spec. God, I am sweating, man. Like, it looks grey and dull today. And you know what? I don't know if you lot do this. I wake up in the morning, I look at the weather app, yeah, basic stuff in life to do. Look at the weather app to see, do I want to wear shorts or jeans to work today? Today was looking very grim, a bit not cold, like 16 degrees, and I chose to wear jeans. And I really, really wish I had shorts on, because it is hot, it's sweaty, it's muggy, it's humid. Yeah, it's hot. So aircon on, keep myself nice and cool. Yeah, got a bit of cold air coming out of there, that's all good. So Porsche 911, look at this interior, man. I could do with a bit more leg room. If you are 6'2", this is how you're going to look in the cockpit of your 911. So my knees do hit the steering wheel. You can put the steering wheel up, but that's as high as it goes. Well, that's pretty good, actually. That's not too bad. It's not telescopic. Oh, it is telescopic. It doesn't seem to come out far enough, I don't think. So that's about where I want the wheel. Seat goes back plenty far enough. It would definitely squash the legs of the person behind, so there's no space for a person behind, but you ain't buying a Porsche for that. So yeah, quite comfortable sitting. It's got loads of adjustments on the seats as well, which is really good. And the fact that it does have rear seats, you know, it gives you that space to sort of, you know, put your chair back, have a bit more room. Not like the bloody Audi R8 that I had that just was restricting me all the time. But anyway, let's pull up HPI quick and talk about a spec list on this car, because that is what's quite interesting with this particular thing. So Porsche 911 Carrera 4S, 5 registers are clear. In fact, let's start with the private plate at the top. I always say, don't let the fact that a car's previously had a private plate concern you. It's in amber, it ain't nothing to be worried about, but it's always good to have just a little look to make sure all the checks are clear on the previous plates. All right, so 5 registers are clear, so it's, you know, it's not got any HPI, any finance, not been in any insurance jobs or nothing like that, so that's all good. Porsche 911 Carrera 4S, 6 former keepers, which ain't terrible for the age of the car. Grey petrol 3.8, which we already know. 6-speed manual, nothing left to report there. HPI spec check, that's what we want to talk about. For some reason they're not rating them with stars anymore. They used to be stars, they've still got the star bit there, but this car has got a crazy amount of spec and it's just showing 0 stars. All right, so £69,900 new, 8,600 quid's worth of options, and the optional equipment consists of adaptive sports seats. So these seats, do they adapt as you go around corners? I don't know if they offer that on Porsches. They do it on Mercedes AMGs, some of them. So yeah, that might be that. But it's got it's got a hell of a lot of controls for the seat, which is quite cool. PCM navigation module. It's actually got that under the bonnet. Actually, I think I see the navigation disc drive under the bonnet there. Electric tilt and slide sunroof, 846 quid. Absolute must in my opinion. I know some petrol heads don't like the idea of a sunroof because it adds moving weight in the roof of the car. Is that right? Just more weight up the top. You want all your weight to be on the ground, yeah? Couldn't care about that. I want a sunroof. I love a sunroof. Personally, I prefer a sunroof over a convertible. So when it's sunny, it's just easy, convenient, love it. Bose sound system, 768 quid. It sounds really good. I rate that, and it's a lot of money though. That's something I would say negative about that. Sports Chrono Package Plus, we talked about that earlier, £507. Automatically dimming mirrors, wicked option for £353. Porsche absolutely love killing you with money on spec. Fair enough, you know, they've got around money, it's all good, and they are nice options. CDC 4-disc CD auto changer, 348 quid. I suppose back in the day that would have been quite a big option, very important. That's under the bonnet as well, next to the DVD unit, next to the sat-nav unit. Not a big thing nowadays, but it's cool, it's got it. Center console with aluminium look. I mentioned that earlier. You know, this is mint. This center console is mint. Bar that bloody parrot thing. I've just made it worse. That needs to go. That definitely, oh my god, no. Yeah, I'll let the boys sort it out later. So, cruise control, £294. Seat heating, £269. Leather interior package in special colour, 242 quid. 19-inch Carrera classic wheels, £238. Porsche crest embossed on headrest, 126 quid to get that Porsche crest embossed on your headrest. I think it's worth it personally, but it's absolutely crazy that they didn't just do that on every single one of their cars, but they didn't. They charge you for it. Cocoa leather, zero option. I suppose that would have been part of the special leather package option at 242 quid. So it's called Cocoa. Looks good. So that's all the specs talked about. Let's quickly look at Auto Trader. Here we go. So the cheapest one in the country currently is this one at 17 grand. Obviously at Bingo we price cars below market value. That's how we work. We get offered a crazy amount of cars. We try to buy as many of them as possible. In fact, we are looking for a bigger yard. I mentioned that in the previous video because we're just outgrowing our yard. We're trying to work with every option, every lead we're getting. We are getting, because of social media. Thank you, social media. You've transformed my business. We've grown massively over the recent years, and it is I'm not saying purely because of social media, but it's been a massive help. And because of that, I don't know where I started with this, but yeah, we're just trying to get cars in and out basically because we ain't got the room for them. So yeah, this car's gone up for sale, £17,000, but the cheapest one after that is 20 grand. Then it jumps straight up to 25 grand. And our one, do you know what? With 89,000 miles, it's a bloody good car, isn't it? So yeah, that's the price of them. I think, like I said earlier, on the road they look incredible. I think what we need to do now is hit the road and see what it drives like. Sounds good, looks incredible. I think I'm gonna have to close the roof though. I don't really want to close it because I love having it open, and it's nice for light as well. It lets a lot of light in. I say that a lot with cars with sunroofs. They're great for videos, but I suppose not too great when it's got a tilt option as well. Look at that. Yeah, not too great when you're filming. I'll put it on the tilt. Let's leave it on the tilt. So going back to the sound of these cars, like, listen to that little rev match. You can really hear the induction roar. And I remember that even from back in the day with the earlier Porsches, they just seem to bloody roar. Obviously being naturally aspirated, they have a lovely sound anyway, and being a flat six, they're very unique in sound. But I will encourage you, like, can't stress it enough, if you are about to buy one of these cars, a 996 or a 997, take someone who knows what they're listening to or knows their stuff with these cars, because they do have their issues, and you do not want to buy one with an engine problem because it ain't cheap to repair, all right? But funny noises, abnormal amounts of smoke coming out the back, stuff like that, that's all stuff that you want to be looking out for, all right? So but as you can see, this car is absolutely spot on. And yeah, I took it home last night. I said I picked it up last night, drove it into work this morning, and it was a very enjoyable journey, I can say that. So obviously being a four-wheel drive, traction is not an issue, especially not on a day like today. Big fat rear tyres, big fat rear end, revving it right out to over 7,000 RPM, no problem at all. Rev match as we drop, listen to that. So I think what we need to do now, because we've been banging on a lot in this video, we've got a man not shaking his head there as if to say, mate, that's just naughty. That is naughty. You can't drive like that. You can, mate. It's absolutely fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me, and don't worry about my Porsche. I'm just loving my life here in this car and on YouTube. So yeah, we're going to cut to the draggy scene section of the video. I want to see it do a 6. Yeah, I'm not expecting magic to happen. I'm not expecting any magic, but I am expecting it to do pretty well. I think the Porsche, was it a box style that we done a little while back on the channel? Be good to beat the box style. I think that's easily done. Somewhere in the low 6s. I ain't got a clue. Let's just cut to that section of the video and see how it gets on. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Clutch is strong. Bang off the mark. No problem at all. Just about. I had to get it into third gear to hit 70. How does that look? Oh my god, we was aiming for a low 6. By the way, we put it in sports mode before we headed off, and we opened the little, you know, the rear spoiler thing to let a bit more cool air into the engine, and we just done run number 1 in 5.45 seconds. Porsche smashed it. Let's see if we can beat that any further. I don't even feel like I want to or even need to, but standard rules on the channel, we do 3 runs on every single car. Let's see if we can get less than 5.45 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Come on, car. Absolutely solid. seconds. We've got one more run to do. Let's see if we can even beat that. I don't think we can, but we'll give it a go, all right? So the third and final run, I've done it in 5.18 seconds, so not quite as quick as the second run there. So the quickest run of the lot was 5.10 seconds, which is identical to the Jaguar F-Pace, a 3 litre S supercharged car. Do you know what? That's a quick car. 375 horsepower, but do you know what? It feels grunty, it feels low. For this to be naturally aspirated, have less power. I know it's quite a lot less in weight, but this has just performed quite well. Almost as quick as the Golf GTI R, you know, the Planet of Dreams car, Mark 6 Golf R engine under the bonnet. That's 350 horsepower as well, with a DSG gearbox. The fact that this is a manual, that's something else I really need to point out. Manual gearboxes cost you time when you're doing any kind of draggy run. So my summary, I really like it. I get excited about everything. I've just been looking in the mirror of this car, yeah. Look, if you sit here with your head on your big 165 pounds headrest Porsche emblem, yeah, when you're sitting with your head stuck to that emblem, and you look in your mirror, I use your sort of lobster claw mirror, which is also incredible, and you look at your rear arch on your Carrera 4S, it's super chunky, it looks unbelievable. You don't see them sort of curves through a mirror of any other car on the road. So pure beauty inside and out, drives bang on, gearbox is spot on as well. I don't know if these have gearbox issues. Driving absolutely spot on. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap it up, leave it as that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, do me a favour, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.